I don't care if he grabs me, mammy, and hits me, it'll save us. Jordan screamed his lungs out. He saved us.
Conroy has a bit of room to move. He's the speedster. And he started playing rugby as a 19-year-old. He's now 25. And he's got some X factor, the man from the Buccaneers Rugby Club.
Born in Germany, half French, like I'm a lot of things, you know. I take pride in being half black, but I also take pride in being very, very Irish, you know. I wouldn't be the person I am if it wasn't for my Irish family. Growing up in Germany is definitely different to Ireland. Thinking back, I only spent there the first 10 years of my life. I suppose I had good times and bad times there. I suppose I would have been a very different person if I stayed there.
Jordan growing up, extremely energetic, always on the go. He didn't fit in to the ABC norm of life. Jordan couldn't walk, Jordan ran everywhere. He didn't have patience.
The first kind of sport I got into was athletics, and the only reason I kind of got into athletics is because my mum thought there was actually something wrong with me. I was a very, very energetic child and I was causing problems in school. I always had to be number one, be in front of the line, always having to win, and I always had to be top dog in Germany.
They told me he's extremely fast, and they compared him to Jesse Owens, and I thought, yeah, right, go on. He kind of found his niche. It was like his world kind of changed because people accepted him.
Without my mum, I wouldn't be where I am today.
I was in an extremely abusive marriage. There was a lot of violence in it. I remember coming home one day and Jordan had slightly changed, and that's when my world fell apart. My ex-husband had hit Jordan in the playground in front of everyone. It escalated and it got very bad. And one night he broke into the house and I woke up and he was standing over me with a knife. And he said, if I can't have you, no one will have you. Jordan and I devised a plan that Jordan would go that way and I'd go that way. And Jordan was going to try and get out and get into the hallway and scream to get help. One of us was going to get caught, but he said, I don't care if he grabs me, mammy, and hits me, it'll save us. So both of us got up and Jordan got out that door and Jordan screamed his lungs out, but he saved us because people got the police. So after that, believe it or not, it was the best thing that ever happened because then the judge ruled that I could come back to Ireland. So I packed my bags and I came home.
I have to lead by example. It was very daunting at the time, but like I settled in very fast. And again, through sport, I happened to find my happy medium. I was just getting to know the lads.
I carried an enormous guilt that I took him out of Germany because it didn't matter where you came from in Germany, what money you had, what socio background you were, they looked after you. They seen talent. When we came back here, we struggled.
My passion was still a lot about athletics because I was so involved in Germany. So in my head, I was saying, I'm going to the Olympics. So that's where I wanted to be. I never thought I'd play rugby, but rugby found me. There's always something blocking rugby that I was interested in.
He was winning everything with athletics, but they never bothered with Jordan here. He gave up the athletics and then he went into soccer. He was quite a good soccer player, but again, it was very hard to break doors down.
At the time, I was just saying, like, you know, it's not worth it just doing all this training and this commitment and not even get to showcase anything for it. So at that time, I just decided, just kind of step away from football. I think once the soccer kind of fell apart, that's when the rugby kind of was there for me.
We were training here, this kid catch the ball onto 22 from a kick-off. He runs left across the pitch and you're kind of going, where is this lad going? And then turns right halfway across the pitch and straight up and runs around everybody. Scores a try, kick off again, and he catches it and he does the same thing. And I was there kind of going, who's this fella? Oh, that's Jordan Conroy.
I was one of the fast kids. All I did was just grab the ball and run. After the game, he came up to me and he just whacks me on the chest and he's like, right, you're coming up to senior training. That's it. You're not saying no, you're not saying yeah. And I was just like, all right, okay. And then that's where it kind of blossomed out, like, from there.
people in the rugby world started kind of talking about him. But I have to say there was a lot of negativity too. It's just too late for him, or people saying, oh, he never went through an academy, did he? And I don't know, does he have to go through an academy?
I couldn't even string a pass together.
We had to go back to basics with him just to show him the ropes and kind of get him to understand the game a bit more and a bit better. Like,
I only knew how to catch a ball and run. I didn't know too many of the rules. I was a very skinny kid and trying to compete with these fatties who were like 100 kg. So it was just trying to get better at the game.
He only picked up rugby at a later stage in life, but it just goes to show if you've got the determination and the willpower like he had, that you should be able to push on up to the highest level.
This exact spot, I remember I was like 19. It was the first kickoff, bounce, caught it here. I just remember running like an arc around and then just going straight up the left-hand side and then just scoring. I just couldn't believe it myself. I was just walking back and I was like, this didn't happen. And then got put up on video on YouTube and got quite a few hits, like, and I was really chuffed with myself because it wasn't really a thing of social media back in the day, and then having it all over Facebook, I was just like, yeah, I could get used to this. This is what I've waited for. After 4 years of playing here and progressing every year and scoring good amount of tries, in order for me to step it up to the next level, I needed another stepping stone. Buccaneers were in the AIL 1B division, which was the second highest in Ireland, so I just knew I had to go there to be able to progress as a player. Being in Buccaneers for that year and a half, they just literally just taught me so much in such a short amount of space of time. Getting promoted to AIL 1A and scoring the 18 tries in 15 games, that's when Connacht came knocking.
And he loved it. He loved Connacht, he loved the setup. But then it kind of all went a bit wrong because that's when he got called into the sevens.
Unfortunately, I tore my MCL grade 2, so I was out for the 7s and the 15s. I got very angry and upset. I literally just shut down. I was ready to drop it all. I was just ready to quit because I wasn't happy with what was happening.
And Connacht let him go. So I sat him down and I talked and I said, you know, I believe in your path in life, Jordan. And our path hasn't been easy, but this is where your path has led you. So give the sevens a shot.
I discovered that I can learn from my mistakes.
sometimes this 15s game can be a bit too serious, and Jordan has that laid back kind of vibe to him. Sevens game probably suits him that bit more, because even though it is serious, you can have a bit of fun at it too. And you see the HSBC and the carnival atmosphere that goes on, like, and it tries to bring out that enjoyment part of it, like, and that's what Jordan is like. If he's out on the pitch smiling, you know he's having fun.
We were playing in the World Cup, and we were playing against Kenya, and like it was almost carbon copy of a time he scored in Tullamore. And I just remember thinking, like, he's able to do this in the World Cup. That is unbelievable. Like, it's from like grassroots rugby right up to the cream of the crop.
In the end, it did work out. It worked out for itself. That following year, I made the team for Hong Kong, and we qualified and made it onto the World Series.
I knew it was utterly important for Jordan that I was in Hong Kong. I watched the whole game and I watched everything, and I was on that pitch with him. I ran every metre with him, and then when they won, I ran down to try and see him. He jumped the barrier and hugged me.
Just me being able to say thank you, for all what you've done.
And that took away all the years of pain, that one moment. I think in Hong Kong, my guilt left me, the guilt that I took this young boy from Germany. And I think that hug just hugged away my guilt.
I've achieved a lot, but I'm not done yet.
If you were around town at the time when Jordan was going to the Olympics, everywhere there was banners up and signs up and good luck to Jordan, our Olympian, and that kind of stuff.
Being able to represent your country at one of the biggest sporting events in the world is absolutely amazing, and I'll be able to tell the grandkids if I have any to say yeah, your granddad was an Olympian, and being able to share it with the lads you've spent the last 6 years with as well is pretty special as well. And I was a bit of a bummer not having the family there to support you, because they were such a big driving force. But at the end of the day, we get to call ourselves Olympian, which a small fraction of the world population gets to do. So, having that is a bit of a flex.
From coming to Ireland at 10 years of age, and then the roller coaster ride he's had, he hasn't had it easy, and he's worked hard, and we're just so proud of him, of what he's achieved on the pitch and off the pitch.
I never saw myself as a role model. People, not just from Ireland, but from around the world, saying, you know, I'm an inspiration to them. Just being able to help them in any way or form that I can better their life. I kind of take pride in that now.